Welcome to the ModGolf YouTube channel. I'm your host, Colin Weston, and today I have a return guest to ModGolf, someone that joined us 7 years ago, back when we were just a wee little podcast, just a baby podcast starting out back in the day. And that is Pete Charleston, who is the co-founder of GolfLogix. And Pete and his team reached out to me. Said, haven't spoken in 7 years. It's been way too long because they are just constantly innovating, constantly evolving. And with GolfLogix, what they're doing now with their app to make your experience, the performance, and that gratification on course, and he calls it building your confidence on course, giving you that, whether it's on the greens, putting, and beyond that. With what they're doing, I'm going to spoil it right now. They have just launched their virtual reality 3D animation of the golf course that you are on in real time. I just tried this out, the course that I played yesterday here, that I'm spending some time in Toronto, and it is awesome. This is not a gimmick. This is the real deal. It will make your experience, it'll elevate it, and it does. And the great thing here about being on video here and having visuals, unlike the podcast that we just recorded, and I will encourage you to go back and listen to that, because Pete and I talked about all kinds of different things as compared to what we're ready to show you here today. And yeah, we got a chance to run through how the app is working and all the good things they're doing. So I think it's time that I bring Mr. Pete Charleston back on. Pete, thanks for joining us. Good to see you on ModGolf.
Colin, great to be back on. As we discussed earlier, it's shocking that it's been 7 years. It's gone way too fast.
It has. So like we talked about, or I talked about at the top of the show here, we've got some great video footage of you, some screen captures that you're going to run through, and also with the website to talk about all the good things that GolfLogix is doing. So we did talk in the podcast as far as that journey of what you've done for the last quarter century. That's blowing my mind, what you've done, even beyond what you and I talked about 7 years ago. This constant progression and innovation and challenging yourselves to push yourself out there and also always create something new, so you do not become obsolete, because there's lots of apps. I'm sure some of your competitors back when we talked last in 2018 that are now in the golf app graveyard, without naming names here, but you're, as I said, constantly evolving, constantly innovating. So with that, why don't we get right into it? Where do you want to start? Like I said, I've got lots of screenshots and videos lined up. What should we have a look at here that will tell the GolfLogix story for our viewers to take in here?
Well, it's up to you, but I want to show we literally this week, we had a soft launch last week with GolfLogix, and this week, I believe on Tuesday, we made our app live to all existing users and also any new person that goes in and downloads our app. But our website is hot off the press. If you want to show, I think you can pull up the home screen there. I think you might be able to pull that up.
Why don't we start with that?
Yeah.
There we go.
I mean, this right here, I mean, I kind of get excited, when I see this. And this is on our website at golflogix.com. And it's LOGIX. But it really shows, what we built. I mean, we're the first company to do a virtual reality view off the tee box.
Right.
It's an immersive 3D of every hole. You get a complete view in 3D of every course, from tee to the green. You get to see, like, as this is rolling through these screens, you see the elevation changes, and you sit there in the tee box, and you can, whether you're on the course, you're sitting home on the course, getting ready to go play a course you haven't played, you can visualize, you can put together your strategy, so you can play, like it says, play with precision. You and I discussed earlier, I think one of the biggest keys to golfers out there is it's confidence. This game beats you up, and if you can find tools that allow you to play with confidence, you're just going to hit better shots. And we all know if we hit better shots, we get in less trouble, and if we get in less trouble, we actually score lower. And that's what GolfLogix has always been about. We're having we're trying to get people to to have more fun out there, and generally it's a little more fun when you shoot some lower scores.
Yeah, well, I can attest to that. As an 18 handicap, and you've mentioned, I'm like that perfect persona for you, right in your wheelhouse. I will never be a scratch, but I have that potential, and I know that I've been down to a 12 or a 13 before when I was playing more golf and had that opportunity. And now, as I was warned many years ago when I stumbled into the golf industry, that I will give up my golf game, that I'll be very golf adjacent, but less golf on, as they say. So I don't practice as much. I play maybe 20, 25 rounds a year. So I love to play and I want to get better. And having tools that not only improve performance like GolfLogix, but also improve the overall experience, just like it says here, right here with the screen here. So as I go through here, why don't I scroll through some of these very quickly if you want to talk
Yeah.
about what you've got going on here, starting with a 3D flyover that you've just
Yeah.
added.
And what you're seeing here on screen, this is not a gimmick. Like when you stand on the first tee box and you hold your phone up and you're looking through your screen, you are seeing the trees that are out in front of you. You're seeing the elevation. If you pinch and zoom and you move yourself down the fairway, you are seeing what's in front of you. You're seeing if there's a drop off. As you can see here, where those black boxes there, almost an augmented reality. We're showing every hazard and we're tagging those. Hey, that's 247 to this. That's 226 to reach it. And so we've made this really easy, beautiful experience sitting on the tee box that is gonna help you tee off with more confidence. So hopefully that first shot, you step up there and we all know you hit that first drive in play and you're like, oh, okay, this might be a better round today.
Yep.
And the beauty of this is really what's out on the golf course. We've all played, and I know sim golf has really taken off, right? I mean, for the first time a couple years ago, more rounds have been played off course than on course. But we've kind of taken this knowledge and looking at sim golf and said, well, why can't we create that same experience while you're standing out there in the tee box or in the fairway? And so we've used this 25 years worth of golf mapping, golf app knowledge to create something that no one's done before. There is not one other golf GPS app out there that has this virtual 3D world experience while you're out there playing.
Yeah. Wanted to ask you this, because here you've got a picture of a guy on the course staring at his phone, and some of the pushback I've heard, especially with older golfers that perhaps are maybe Luddites or at least technology resistant, that they don't want to be disturbed when they're out on the course. These maybe the same people that don't like music. So people that would love GolfLogix may be skewing a little bit younger in age. But one thing I've noticed, I've had no problem using technology on the course and having that elevate my experience. And I'm not going to name some of the apps that I've struggled with, but I find that the time it takes, that it takes away from my experience on the golf course, because I do want to have that conversation, whether it's new people I've just met or old friends that I'm playing around with, that social aspect that I love. And I've had sometimes when I figure that I know I just have my head kind of stuck in my phone and it takes away from that experience. So how have you and the team over the years managed to balance that user experience and that interface design where you're providing this information that people want, but they're able to get it very quickly and then put the phone back in their pocket?
So we've had this mantra since day one, and my partner Scott and I, it's been easy, fast, and fun. And
Right.
you know, I hope we're there with the new version of this app, but I'm going to tell you right now, there's going to be 3, 4, 5 different user interface changes here in the next 3, 4 months. Like, you have to launch with something, and we think it's really good. But based on user feedback and our own feedback using it, we're going to strive to make this thing easier. Like, I want a 75-year-old golfer to be able to pick this thing up. Maybe they're not really app savvy, but they download it and all of a sudden they show up. It uses GPS to know where you are, and you open it and on the first hole, and boom, all they're holding up their phone, and all of a sudden they're looking through this phone and they're seeing this amazing view of what's in front of them that they probably can't see. Right? I mean, 150, 200, 300 yards out, you don't really know what's down there, and we're able to do that. And the other thing I would say is that you may not need GolfLogix on every hole, right? I mean, So if you're having a great conversation and you don't want to, you're not a person that keeps track of your score and stats in an app, great. Don't use it for that. Maybe use it 5 times or 10 times on a course where maybe you don't know how far it is to, the hazards. You don't know what's in front of you. And this is a very easy, simple way for you to see that. And then, I think certainly where I use it the most is in the approach view.
Okay.
When I'm coming into the green, and this is something we've had for years with our putt brake technology. Yeah, you're showing it right there. You are actually have touch point distance. So it's not just where the front, middle, and back is, or where the center is, or where the pin is, but you're actually able to tap on the screen. How far is it to carry that bunker? And oh, by the way, you can see on your front right, well, there's a false front, right? Ooh, I better not be short, or that's gonna back right off the green. And so you learn so much about how to play smarter and play with this, play intelligently when you see these things in front of you. And then when you get on the green, then all of a sudden, like, we've created this technology that allows you to, read your putt. And so all you're doing is basically, drawing a line between, the ball and the cup, and it runs it sounds fancy, but a physics engine.
Yes.
I didn't help create it. The smart people in our company did, but it actually literally in seconds fires thousands of putts and will tell you exactly what you need to do to make the putt. And it will tell you, as you saw on that screen, on the bottom, it said, I can't remember what it said, but aim, it's very small, but a 27-foot putt, and it's downhill,
Yes.
and you aim 4 inches to the right. You still have to hit the putt. Like, this is not cheating. You have to actually put a stroke on the ball. But for those of us, and I'm one of them, I just didn't grow up playing golf. I don't know how to
Right.
read putts, and I'm not very good at it. But if you're fortunate enough to put it with a caddy, you don't have to think. That caddy goes, he taps the flag stick down, or however you like to see it. I want you, the hole's right here. Hit it right here, right? And so we've created, this app that's basically like having a caddy, standing behind you, going, "Hey, Colin, I got you." You
Yeah.
know, throw it out there. It's a little bit downhill. Throw it out a little bit to the right. You got it. So it's that
Well,
confidence.
yeah, well, I consider my putting is one of the strengths of my game. And yesterday, playing this course I haven't played before, that you do have in the app. I was looking at it this morning on my phone and walking through all the holes, and there were a couple of greens that were like they broke a lot. And I had one putt. I looked at it and didn't really see any break at all. Hit the putt and it broke almost
Yeah.
8 feet. I couldn't believe it. It's like, how did I not see that? And of course, once you have an 8 footer, even as a PGA pro, you're going to make about 50% of those, maybe
That's right.
40% of those. Myself as an 18 handicapper, I'm going to make, probably about 1 in 3 of those. And of course, I missed the putt and 3-putted and ended up with
Right.
3 putts yesterday. So I know full well if I would have had a chance to, once again, just pull that up, kind of see this beforehand, I would have seen that. Not saying I would have made the putt, but I probably would have left myself with a tap in. I would have seen that
Correct.
break and put it in the right spot and saved myself a stroke. And doing that a couple of times around, let's say even 3 times. And I think I'm being very conservative by saying this, that all of a sudden that alone would get me from being an 18 handicap down to a 15 without putting in the time to work on my short game, to stop spraying it off the tee like I love to do, and just focusing on that part of my game and just being able to save myself some strokes. And I think, well, tell me if I'm wrong. I don't think I am, but that sounds like low-hanging fruit just to use it and that to get a minimum of 3 strokes to saving yourselves 3 putts, eliminating a couple of 3 putts is right there for you.
Well, and my marketing team hates it when I say this because it's a negative, but I like to say eliminate the 3 putt. Like, the 3 putt there's nothing worse out in that darn golf course, right? I mean, you've managed to get the ball off the tee, you've managed to get the ball on the green, and then now all of a sudden you got to hit this stupid white ball with this little putter, and you're not swinging it like there's not a lot of swing mechanics. All you got to do is just get this little ball from point A to point B, without blowing up. And when you are not confident on the green, when you don't see it, when the example you used, when your lion eyes told you, "Oh, this is a straight putt," and all of a sudden
Right.
this thing snaps and breaks 2 feet, you're like, "God, how did I not see this?" Um, And that's what GolfLogix does. We're with our green reading features. And what I explained about, touching the ball in the cup, you don't have to use that. Literally, we've made it so simple. All you got to do is quickly glance at the screen. And what I always tell people is, if you poured water on the green from where you're standing towards the cup, what would the water do? Right? That's what your putt's going to do. And it's a good analogy and a way to see, how to read these putt maps. And once you understand that, you quickly look at it and you're like, and by the way, we've made the arrows very, I see we're both wearing glasses. You know,
Thank
we've
you.
made these the arrows are very large. You're able to see them without any reading glasses. We're very sensitive to that in the sun. And so you're quickly able to get a great golf read. And there's an art to it, right? You're not gonna nail it right out of the gate, but what you are gonna know is it uphill? Is it downhill? Is it a right? Is it going to the right or to the left? And if you eliminate the apprehensiveness, or you're nervous that you have the read wrong, those two factors, the odds that you three putt just went down considerably. And like you said, who doesn't want to save 3, 4, 5 strokes in a round? I mean, that's a big deal. That you could break 100, you could break 90, you could break 80, right? I mean, those are big numbers that don't take a lot of practice.
Nice. And I understand, because I'll have a chance to use it for the first time and kick the tires tomorrow when I play my round. But my understanding, Pete, is that the app is intuitive enough that it then understands your geolocation, that when you're approaching the green, that then it kicks into the green, kind of the putt lines mode then. Is that correct?
It does, yeah. So, it's intuitive enough, it's intelligent enough, the GolfLogix app, to, as you're walking or driving down the fairway, it's moving with you.
Yes.
So you can toggle back and forth between what's called our traditional 2D mode, which we did upgrade, by the way. In the past, we've had, kind of a 2/3D image, and it was just the hole. Well, what we've done is we brought in the imagery on the side of it. So now you get to see the surround. You get to see what's still left to you outside the fairway, right? You get to see trees, the dreaded, is there houses that I could hit it out of bounds? But so
Right.
we've now made, our open image, this image here, right? You're just looking at, you can see, it's the rendition of the whole, the 3D, and then on the side, that's the actual satellite imagery of what's surrounding you.
Right.
So, we've made it, a lot easier, a lot faster to see things, and a lot more fun out there.
More fun. That's what we love to support and celebrate on ModGolf. Yep. Let's make golf more fun. We've done that since day one. When we first got into the golf industry with our first venture, it was all about fun. So that entertainment piece, and as you talked about, and I know full well, golf is hard.
Golf is
I played
hard.
a lot of competitive team sports also. You even played at a higher level than I did, playing basketball in college back in the day. That what did I hear? I heard this a while ago, this one, and it's not a new one, that a a natural golf swing is like an elephant riding a bicycle. That's how natural it is. And there's some truth to that. And I know we get seduced on the LPGA tour, especially. The swings are beautiful, very
Yep.
powerful on the PGA tour. But you see the top 200 players in the world, and they make it look so darn easy. And we know full
No,
well it is
it's
not.
not easy.
So
No.
we get more enjoyment out there on the golf course with our friends, and even for ourselves, and build that confidence as you talked about. That's really what it's all about. So I think I managed to run through pretty much everything that you had there that complements what we talked about on the Mod Golf podcast quite nicely there. I don't think we missed anything there. One thing I did want to mention, hey, if you like these conversations that we have here on the Mod Golf YouTube channel, you can see down below, hey, you know what? Why don't you follow us? I do all kinds of other things myself as the Relatable 18 handicapper. I do our Mod Golf product reviews, so I'll be doing more of those as the golf season ramps up. I know people love those ones, to watch those. So hey, and we also love to give stuff away in our Mod Golf giveaway contest. So hey, like I said, if you like what we're doing, help us grow here on the YouTube channel with Mod Golf. I really appreciate that. And I will throw up the URL again So once again, I guess, Pete, this is the easiest place for people to find you, where they can download the app right there, or they can actually go either for with Google, with Android. You're on every single smartphone with, of course, with my good old Apple phone here. So Mac, iOS, and all the good things. So anyone could download the app here, whatever device they're using. Is that fair to say?
That is fair to say. Yeah, you can go to golflogix.com, or you can go into the app stores on your phone, and we do offer a free trial. So you get in there, and we offer a 7-day free trial with all of our features. Where you get to see that incredible 3D view, down the line from the hole, and you're able to get the putt reads and the green data. And after 7 days, if you don't like it, you can become what's called a free member, and the free member is still going to get whole imagery. They're going to be able to keep track of their scores and stats, and it's still an incredible app, even with the free version. So I encourage everybody to go in there and try it out, and there's no risk.
Good stuff. And in the comments below, I'll include the link to make it nice and easy for you to download that app. So with that, Pete, I know it's not going to be another 7 years till we speak again. You had put out there, you teased us on the ModGolf podcast that you've got something big coming in the next 12 to 18 months. So I guess you and I are going to have to jump back on here to have another conversation. So it won't be another 7 years before you and I have a chat to tell people about all the good things you're doing with the GolfLogix.
It will not. We're always trying to come up with something new and great and helpful to all of our customers.
Good stuff. Well, Pete, hey, thanks again for joining us on the ModGolf YouTube channel. Appreciate your time and love the entrepreneurial spirit and all the good things that you and the team are doing with GolfLogix.
Thank you so much for having me on again. It's been great to talk to you.
Good stuff. All right. Bye for now.